Little girl's name. Ray, Rayna? Rayna. Okay. Rayna Vallandingham? That's Vallandingham. Okay. The female Bruce Lee and the champion and all that. I am the champion. Right. Sell those Girl Scout candy bars and cookies, right? Need more, yeah, Pentagon needs more money. We need more money to fund robot armies to protect us from the people that we train to kill over money, right? Guys, I really don't think Bruce Lee would have wanted to try to fight D.T. Suzuki because he wouldn't want to get his ass kicked. And same with, remember when Judah Krishnamurti was doing the yoga and the ape came and touched his face? And he was like, it was startling because, they're very immensely strong creatures. And if they get violent, and you're that vulnerable and they get right in your face, you're like, what? It was like a baboon or an ape or something. And he, it reached out and touched him. And he was like, okay, you know. And because he said, when I opened my eyes, I was doing my yoga in the backyard, and you're like laughing and go, yeah, yeah. My dad had that with a Kodiak. I never been around Kodiaks. I don't get that adventurous. So, I've only had that with buck deers, getting face to face and stuff like that. That's the only animal that I've ever had that, could gorge me to death, because it's doe and its fawns are nearby, and he just looked and went, they're pretty majestic animals. I've had them in Wyoming come right at the side of the forerunner and take it on because you got too close. They will come at you. They're not afraid of you, and they want you away from their children. Deers have been hunted down and shot, for sport and well, to feed your family, but mostly for sport, for long ass time, right? Especially in England and here in the United States, it's tradition. All the bow fingers, and so you sit there and you look at them and go, when you eat an animal, okay, you realize first of all that the engagement of human and life forms with other life forms, you understand that, when you have predatory animals that can hunt down and eat you or children try to eat you out of existence, that you have to draw a line and realize that, you're going to stop that. And then when you stop that, you have to realize that you have to manage the herds that were maintained by natural selection before you had the capacity to select to stop predatory animals from hunting down and killing your children. That's why we don't have a lot of condors and big birds like that, big raptors. Okay, they can swoop down in because you're a you're in competition with food chain stuff. So, and that's why we shouldn't have those Jurassic Park movies are just for people that are Megan 20, child molesting rapists that like to creep and freak people out. What if I did this? What if I bred pterodactyls and dinosaurs, and then I got them to hunt you all down, and then I had an enzyme that could kill them all, and then I would rule the world. Would you have sex with your killer robot? Wouldn't that be funny if she snapped your neck the moment you put your dick in her? That would make me laugh. And then it would end with, a crazed murdering sex robot that didn't even have a dinosaur for a pet. It's good. And isn't it ironic? And yeah, I really do think it's like rain on your wedding day. It's good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought or figured or you're just I was married to Amy Suzanne Fabre for 12 years. She was sexually groomed and abused and manipulated by the Temple Satlanati to try to turn me into a pervert. My sense of humor is like, I can sit there and go, okay, I can laugh this one off and then sit down, regroup, and protect children from, Wi-Fi brain child molesting and rape to save people from performing acts of violence, gratuitous sex and violence for make-believe money, Oh, I'm not intimidated or scared of it. You think you'd want to get in a street fight with this girl? This girl didn't stand up to all the train killers at Fort Huachuca to stop science projects that rape people with Wi-Fi to get them to be addicted to sex, gratuitous sex and violent, manipulated by entertainment with money. No, I'm not. No. Okay, I've had people way more intimidating and scarier than her, get in my face and say, what are you going to do about it? Just let David Rockefeller collect all the evidence with the technology, and me be the gracious good shepherd, and you go be the champion, and go sell those Girl Scout cookies and candy bars. Okay, make sure you have your phone app to collect all your fortune favors the brave with your cryptocurrency. Hey man, it's your business. It's your business. So I'm a little different. I'm not like the blind guy with Kwai Chang Kang. Well, what do you go? You are what you do. I'm a face puppet on a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Quato. Not like that. I'm a human being. This is, we're going through hell. Hell sucks. Let's stand up for a Lord's Prayer. And that's pretty much how I am. It's pretty much, oh, wow. And no, there's no like, Bruce Leroy, you are the glow, Bruce Leroy, and I like that. And I'm not like Bruce Lee on a Raymond Chow movie with the guy with the metal hands and the, it's nothing like that. The way my chi, they've known it, they've studied it, with the car accidents and no blunt force trauma, and they thought I was pulling a Skirrins fam, 55 years old, and the ladder tweaking on me and me falling from way higher altitude than most professional basketballs can jump, and then landing on the dirt of New Mexico, which is harder than a maple floor, and no blunt force trauma, no concussion, no nothing, just sitting there thinking, I bet you Ray Helio laughed at that one, I thought I could stop. I landed good, and I know how to land, and I didn't sprain anything because I knew I was falling. And then I thought when I landed, it was like for just like a half a second, I thought, oh good, I didn't even really hit the head. And then the inertia hit, and it was like, no, you're going to hit the head, and it pow. But I had set the body when the head did hit everything else, because of the way I can control my body and land and know how to land properly. Everything else kind of absorbed the shock. So by the time I landed, like delete that video footage with the Black Panther suit, I just kind of went wham, and it hit my head on the ground, but not as hard as if I had hit it straight on the ground with all my body weight. So I kind of absorbed the shock with the rest of my body before it went, wow, that hurt. I bet you Rogelio got a good laugh out of that one. As when they said, well, that's how it reduced the blunt force trauma to cause you any kind of physical injury and stuff like that. No. Why? Because when I got in the car accident with Mr. Jennings hitting and me hitting, he was going 86 miles per hour, and I hit the top of that Nissan pickup truck that bent in half, and it had that weld on the top that's metal. Okay, and I was not wearing a Troy Aikman football helmet, so no, and I had no blunt force trauma and no concussion, and went to go to MRI because my sister freaked out about it, and there was no blunt force trauma, and the people at Geico thought I was trying to pull an insurance scam. So no. Okay. I know there's a different thing in bone density, especially of how vulnerable I was made by chemical poisoning by perverts in the military that are jealous of my, I wouldn't call it a sexual reputation. I would call it a romantic, intimate, privacy protecting reputation. I'm not a I'm not a person that uses sex to build a reputation. We all know that. That happened to me numerous times throughout college, the military, junior high school. I would not have sex with girls. Melissa Bradley, all the girls that wanted to have sex with me. And then I told her, no, I'd have sex with you. And then we'd have sex every day for 5 hours, for 3 hours before your old man got home from work, and I'd rock your world, and then you'd tell everybody, and then I would be dating Ursula Castro or Yvonne Rodriguez next, or Nicole Gonzalez next week, because that's who I want to date, and I don't want to use you to build a sexual rotation to get a woman that's shallow to have sex with. I want the real deal, I want a girl who is going to wait to be with the person worth waiting for. Let's wait a while, I'll be worth the wait. And so that's what I wanted. And then when I started getting the sexual reputation, then all the women come out of the woodwork, I want to be fucked till I get dizzy and howl like a coyote for 3 hours and feel like I'm in an Herbal Essence commercial times, and they'll tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. And so, no, I want privacy. and I want my best man to protect my privacy. And I don't want people sitting there lingering and paying attention and being jealous. Boy, I wish I was getting fucked for 3 hours. That didn't mean to happen. That wasn't, that was a Pentagon happy, unhappy accident when Steffi had me have sex with her for like 3 and 4 hours at a time, and the Puerto Rican Green Beret that was sleeping around with Miriam on his 8-month pregnant wife, and he laid there because he couldn't keep up. That was just that was just karma. If you believe in it, it's not karma, it's not real, but it's you got to admit it's pretty. And we all shine on. It's pretty fucking funny when you look at it. You mean the skinny little white guy from free service who flushes toilets and delivers meals is way better in the sack than the Green Beret Puerto Rican that fucks around on his 8-month pregnant wife? It's funny. Steffi did it. She kept going. I was upset. And then the whole time afterwards, going for 3 hours, and it's like, and she didn't have one screaming orgasm. If I had been having sex with Law in that room, Miriam and Tito would have lost their mind. That girl's had 5 screaming orgasms. Yeah, we're washing her hair for Herbal Essence. You want some of it? Okay. Hey, can you get Raymond some of that shampoo? Shut up, Cindy. That shit was funny. Okay, Cindy. No, I said, yeah, that already happened before I went in the Air Force. I don't understand why Green Berets and people in the Pentagon are like, let's take this guy on. I can beat him. But I don't want to beat you. I just want privacy, a holy covenant, and I just want, righteousness rules. So I'll forgive you this time for you being very ignorant, not insignificant. You just hope to be dope as me. I can hear you flee because the pressure's too much for you. I'm your professor. I didn't mean to be. Like old Ronnie told me you caught them with their pants down, Parsons. I didn't mean to. All I wanted to do in 2009 when they exposed themselves to me and then revealed that they knew who I was from the book of Revelation was like, okay, let's just live the Lord's Prayer then. Let's avoid all the perverse stuff and the 7-year itch and the 7-year ache and boys say, when is he going to give us a room? Girls say, God, I hope he comes back soon. Let's just not do that. Okay. And I already proved to him in 2017 that I can get the awesome Bruce Lee, Jesus crucifix abs body, doing, kinetic resistance training and no heavy weightlifting and no bench pressing 3,000 pounds, and then have a better chi and better, so I already proved everything as far as being, better than a Raymond Chow movie and better than the Kato from the Green Hornet, upside down, backwards, and around the world and back again. So I don't have anything to prove, just be a faithful person. You protect people by your kindness and your courage and humility before anybody tries to physically assault you, to challenge you, because they want their selfish abuse to try to replace your kindness, your courage, and humility, which is clinical insanity. But, what do you expect, Barbara? Manatee, you are the one for me. Okay, so stop selling Jesus as a toy in a store and start living like Jesus and sell toys in stores nevermore. No more will I see your dark eyes. Elvis Presley. It's from Blue Hawaii. It's a good song. Go listen to it. Okay, guys, I love you. All right. Peace out, man.